Good afternoon and welcome to 3 o'clock with SOC. My name is Maria and I am a community organizer and youth coordinator at SOC, and I will be your host for today. Just give me a second while I welcome our Spanish speaking guest. Muy buenas tardes y bienvenidos a 3 en punto con SOC. Mi nombre es María, soy una organizadora de la comunidad y coordinadora del grupo de jóvenes con SOC. Hoy nuestro programa es en inglés, pero ofrecemos traducciones al español. Para escuchar la traducción puede llamar al número que aparece en la pantalla, que es 646-749, y la contraseña es 779-328-221. Okay, so let's continue with our show and with some other reminders. There is a link to our past recorded episodes on our Facebook and YouTube page, so feel free to check that out. I'd also like to give a quick shout out to our staff today. We have Marlene producing and Gabe doing comments, so thank you guys. Another reminder to complete our SOC survey. We want to hear your thoughts and opinions on our forum. We're also open to any suggestions or topics you'd like to see on here. All of our SOC staff is working virtually from home, and that is why you see us on the screen without masks at this time. Although we are working from home, SOC is still here for you. You can reach us via email at soc@socmilwaukee.org or call us at 414-672-8090. You can also check out our website at socmilwaukee.org. Lastly, I'd like to share a disclaimer that the views and opinions shared today do not necessarily reflect those of SOC. Before I continue with our announcements, I'd like to invite you all to comment just so that we can get an idea of who is all with us today. And then, as you already know, today is our Youth Forum Day. For our special guest, we will have Fidel Verdin, Co-Executive Director of True Skool. And before we move forward and you learn more about True Skool, I'd like to go over what the rest of the week looks like for our forum. So Wednesday is our Spanish Day. We will have Cristina Huitron and Shinika Fitch from the Aging Commission. On Thursday, for our COVID-19 Day, we will have Claire Evers, Deputy Commissioner of Environmental Health at the Milwaukee Public Health Department. And Friday is our Organizing and Leadership Day. We hope you can all join us for the rest of the week and get more information from all the amazing guests we have booked. Okay, so now for our guest segment, I'd like to welcome Fidel from True Skool. Hi, Fidel. Welcome to 3 o'clock with SOC.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So I'd like to start off by if you can just tell us a bit about yourself and your role with True Skool.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to come on this forum to talk a little bit about what we do at True Skool. I'm one of the executive directors at the organization that I helped create about 15 years ago. And it's an after school and summer program, primarily for high school age students throughout the Milwaukee area, from all different high schools, from all different neighborhoods. We're located downtown in the Grand Avenue, and it's a free program, and it's basically focused around creative arts and hip hop culture. So students come to us after school, now after virtual school, and we work on group projects and we work with community partners. And actually it's a training ground for young adults and youth leaders. And so we help to inform and empower the youngsters that are participating in our program and how to take their creative talents out into the community, how to take it to market if they want to start to generate money from their talents, and also just support them academically as they grow in their educational journey.
Okay. You did mention that you helped create the organization 15 years ago. So could you tell us a little bit more about that? Like, how did the organization begin?
Very grassroots, right inside the Latino Community Center, which used to be on, I think, 15th in national, 14th in national, somewhere over there. Started doing programming for youth and young adults inside of the Latino Community Center. And then we grew into a formal organization of artists and homegrown talent and youth leaders who saw that there were a lot of young people who were using the culture of hip hop to find a positive outlet to express themselves. They were using the culture of dance, visual art, fashion, emceeing, DJing, battling, breakdancing to be able to lead into a positive lifestyle versus falling in between the cracks and doing negative things. And so we realized that this force was already working in the community. So we wanted to sort of uplift it and formalize it. And that's sort of how it started. Very organic, very grassroots, very much from young people taking hold of something that they were already doing and just realizing that it was special and protecting it.
Okay, that's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about who can be a part of this organization?
Okay, we're, again, primarily high school students. So if you're from the ages of 14 to about 19, that's our after school cohort. And then we work with a lot of young adults who age out of the program, who are alumni. We call them our alumni. After they graduate from high school, we still work with our students all the way up until they're young adults. And we help get them internships. So a young student.
Fidel, I think we're having some trouble hearing you right now. Let's see. Can't
Okay, I'm
really.
unmuted.
Okay,
Nope,
okay,
not back.
I hear you.
I'm back? Okay.
Yeah.
I think for some reason my headphones went out, even though they're still plugged up. I don't know why. Can you hear me now?
Okay, now, yeah. You like cut
All
off
right,
a
cool.
little bit again, but yeah, you're good.
Cool. All right. So I was just saying that, it's a free program. And so we are signing up students on our website right now via the website, trueskool.org. I'm gonna drop that in the chat right quick. And students can go on there. Parents can go on there. We get a lot of students from MPS and other schools who find us through their counselors, who find us through their teachers. Students who are participants or former participants, they often bring their friends. So it's a really open source sign up process. And we encourage any of the students that may be listening between the ages of 14 and 19, if they're interested in finding a creative group that they can collaborate with and do interesting projects that impact the community and get paid for them. So students that are interested in pursuing their creative talents and potentially going into creative careers.
Typically, how many students are involved in the program?
We host about 40 students in our after school program throughout the school year. And so virtually, we'll see what that looks like this session, but we usually do about 40 students and maybe 20 to 25 in the summertime. It's a smaller group in the summer. And it's usually not a competitive process. It's just who's committed. So you just have to be committed, and that's committed to the workflow of projects, committed to an attendance that's 75% or better. And we want students to also make sure that their school is criteria as well, and not just True Skool. So we do provide tutors and academic support for after school homework help, so students are not falling off in their regular studies while they're accelerating in their artistic studies. So that's one thing that we really try to encourage as well.
Okay. What are your hours? Like, when do you guys meet?
So now that we're virtual, we're not meeting on site. We're doing online creative sessions Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. and sometimes they run a little later. And we're doing 3 days a week. We usually keep a 3 day a week schedule, even when we're meeting physically face to face. And that gives us enough time to do a lot of creative project work and collaboration. But it's also something that we do called True Knowledge, which is covering a lot of different areas that are important to young people socially, economically, in the community, and education wise. We bring in a lot of support. So a lot of guest speakers, a lot of other networks that represent organizations and agencies that can also be resources for young people. So they may not just have assets or a network at True Skool. We want to introduce them to other partners as well that they can work with out in the community. So that's one of the big things we try to emphasize as well. We have a great network of partners.
Okay. Let me just stop for a minute and look at our comment section. So we have a lot of viewers today, actually.
Okay.
We have Carmen Flores saying hola, hola, Carmen. Gabe
Hola,
saying
hola.
hey. Jasmine, Jennifer, Leroy, Juan, Kimberly, all saying hello. Ariana. We have Brown's crew saying salute to True Skool.
Salute, Brown's crew.
And then Leroy did ask a question. He's saying, so what is the program looking like now due to COVID?
Well, the program itself as an organization, I mean, we're still grinding, we're still working. Appreciate all the people tuning in, all of you all who may be familiar with True Skool. We're still in motion. We're still on the ground. We still have young people that are working with us remote right now, and some who are working with us on project basis. We're actually doing some virtual streaming events. If you check our Facebook, True Skool 414, we had a virtual showcase, a variety show last Friday with some of our alumni. So we're finding creative ways to still support the visual artists. They started this week. Our virtual session started this week, and we're still able to do some pretty cool things virtually and remotely, like make music, like create visual art, like do digital art and graphic design, things of that nature. But it's also opened up some new opportunities and new possibilities. For example, this session, we'll be offering a class that we never offered before for our high school students, which is game development. So we have a instructional teaching artist that will be doing game development with some free software that's available for anybody who has a computer, basically. And we're still doing musicians, still doing b-boy classes, just transferring it virtually. So we need you all support. We need any one of you all who are interested to sign up, and make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. It's a new world for everybody, so we excited.
Definitely. Can you tell me, personally, I was looking at your website and I saw something about like a DJ class. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Are you guys offering that in the virtual world nowadays?
You know, it's kind of complicated to offer a DJ class in the virtual world because a lot of the students may not have turntables or equipment or laptops even at home. And so at True Skool, we have turntables, the old school 1200 turntables. We have the new controllers. We have an array of different equipment that students are able to learn from. And we have vinyl that students start out with, learning some of the roots and the ingredients of what created hip hop culture, learning music that existed and that was produced and created before hip hop was produced and existed. So it's a really informal class, but the DJ class is also where a lot of students accelerate into paid opportunities because everybody needs a DJ. So we're still hiring DJs out all the time, different events around the city, celebrations, weddings, other organizations hire our DJs out. And so we have a lot of good DJs out in the city that are, they're doing clubs, they're doing radio, they're thriving. And so unfortunately, we won't be able to offer DJ classes virtually. It's a challenge, but if we could, we would sponsor DJ sets for all of the students who signed up. So that's a challenge for us to fundraise and see what kind of equipment and supplies students need while they're at home. If they're at home trying to be safe, trying to stay healthy, then what kind of supplies would they need to still be creative and still be mentally healthy at home? So that's something that we're working on every day.
How can people donate actually? Like if they want they like the organization and they want to donate to it, how can we do that?
It's a lot of ways that you can support True Skool. I appreciate that question because, you know, we're a small but mighty organization. We do a lot with a little, and people can support generally. You can go on the website, trueskool.org, and it's a big blue donate button on there that people can donate. Every little bit helps. Every little bit goes to support the programs and support young people that we serve in the programs. People can volunteer their time with different talents. You know, you may be someone who's you know, maybe you have time on the weekend. Sometimes we do weekend events and you could help out at events, or we could do, you know, we have, again, volunteer tutors that come and help support the students academically, which we will be offering still virtually. There's artists that help us as far as like curating our space. There's a lot of ways to contribute to True Skool. Right now, we have a True Knowledge book drive going on till November 1st. And what that is we have a library inside of True Skool. And each year we do a book drive, not only for our library to be regenerated with new books, but to also send throughout the community to different agencies that may have adolescent students and elementary students. And then also we put them in different little libraries around the community. This year and 2 years ago, we worked with the African Library Project to build libraries in other countries in Africa. So this year we're working a middle school and a high school in Uganda, and we will be sending books November 1st to build a True Knowledge library in Uganda. So that's a part of our True Giving as well. So people could contribute to that by bringing books to True Skool Wednesdays or Fridays from 12 noon to 4 p.m. We're allowing people to come and bring their books. Some people just come and drop them off at the door, or you can send them to our address. And we have, you know, we're working out a couple drop-off spots, but we probably won't need them because we got a lot of books already donated. Because before the whole shutdown, we had already started collecting books, and then we thought it wasn't going to happen, and then it actually is going to happen. So if you have some books for middle or high school students, some educational supplies that you want to contribute to our library that will be going up in Uganda early next year, you can donate and contribute that way as well.
We have until November 1st then to donate
yes,
books.
Ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
We have a Cash App, we have a PayPal, all of that.
All right. You just perfectly transitioned into my next question. We have some questions from our youth, actually.
Okay.
Ariana's asking, is there a limit of students that you have?
No, not right now. In the virtual world, there's no limit. Right now,
okay.
No limit.
And then Angel's asking, how do I join?
Angel, that's the best question of the hour. The link is in the chat box. trueskool.org is where you join. And once you go on trueskool.org, you'll fill out some information. It's a quick questionnaire. Just ask you like where you live, what your contact information is. Then you'll get an email back, which will basically send you the link to where you can join us Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, starting at 5 p.m. Every week for the next 8 weeks. We will be having True Skool virtually. And you register. It's free to register. And once you put your information in, you're locked in, you'll be contacted. And then you pick which class you want to take each day. We're offering Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we're offering different classes. So you'll kind of get a orientation, if you will, of what those look like and sort of what the expectations are. And we're looking forward to seeing what could happen in this virtual setting, just because it's a new opportunity for us. We don't look at it as a barrier at all. We just understand that we're going to be creating new kinds of collaborative artwork. We're focusing really hard on one of our pillars, which is called Youth Fighting for Justice. It's a media project where students are able to really amplify issues that are important to them as it relates to justice, social justice, environmental justice, racial justice, immigrant justice, you name it. Our students are really passionate about some of these things that are happening in our society. And so we want to give them a stage and a platform to talk about it, ask questions, speak to leadership. And so that comes across through film, photography, design, poetry, motivational speaking. Our students are creative, and they're coming up with a lot of different messaging right now that could potentially be used as like public art. So you're seeing a lot of murals and a lot of public art going up around the city that have some strong messaging and some strong imagery speaking to the times that we living in. And that's a clear representation of hip hop culture. And so our students are developing a lot of language to be able to speak up for themselves and be able to tell their truth, how they see fit. And we just try to provide the platform. We don't try to regulate or censor it. So Youth Fighting for Justice, you'll be hearing a lot more about that campaign within the next few months coming from True Skool. But again, it's collaborative. We invite in young people from all over and other organizations, including this great organization, to come and participate in this Youth Fighting for Justice media campaign.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that information. And then last question is from Kimberly. Is there a cost to get in? I think you mentioned it, but you can repeat that.
No, the only cost is your commitment. That's what we tell students. You know, we don't charge. We're going to show you how to make money, actually. We're going to show you how to generate money, actually. We don't want to take money from you. We want you to get money. So that's part of our model. That's part of our program. We show students the direction to get money and get money from their talents, get money from their natural passions, things that they're already good at, things that they're already gifted with, and they could already be monetizing. So we try to help students see that light quickly. You know, we pay our young artists, we pay young visual artists, we pay dancers, we pay spoken word artists as much as possible. So one of the things that youngsters will learn from working with True Skool is that the commitment level is real. You commit yourself and you dedicate yourself to your craft. You dedicate yourself to your goals. You dedicate yourself to learning and sharing what you learn. You're going to be rewarded.
That's right. Then another comment in from Drea saying, love True Skool.
Love you too, Drea. Hey, listen, even I forgot to even mention, even on that note, every single participant in our virtual programs will get a stipend at the end. So any of the students that's on right now that's interested, go sign up, because there's money at the end of our session this time. And we've never paid our fall participants. We pay all of our summer participants, but we understand this point in time with all of this virtual reality and the way that things have shifted, it's more than the notion to get a high schooler who's been on virtual class all day to go on virtual after school class. That's more than the notion, and be committed to that as well as their regular study routine. We understand that that's more than the notion, so we want to incentivize that, and we want to say that there is a stipend at the end of the program, True Skool's program, for 14 and 19-year-olds. So go and sign up and learn more about how it could benefit you, and we will teach you how to get more money, essentially.
Right. I mean, this is just a great opportunity in general, even without a stipend. You know, they have an opportunity to be creative, which they don't really get in school. So this is just great.
That's right. That's right.
And then
they're definitely not getting it in virtual school, unfortunately.
Right.
You know, like it was barely getting it in regular school, and that's the reason why we're, you know, part of the reason why our program is so important, because when the budgets get cut in schools, the first thing to go is music, arts, and anything cultural. And that's what keeps students engaged, and that's what keeps students even motivated sometimes. I was one of those students. I was drawing in math class, but I maybe was drawing about math. Maybe I was drawing mathematical equations, but I'm a visual learner. And so when you start to really peel back the layers of some of the issues of our younger students, it really does come down to their creativity being stifled, their voices being stifled, their leadership not being taken into consideration and acknowledged and uplifted. And so, you know, we understand the void that we feel in the city, and we understand that we also have the ability to connect our young people beyond the city to a global phenomenon. Hip hop is a global phenomenon. It's not little old Milwaukee. It's not little old South Side. It's not little old North Side. It's a global conversation, a global perspective that we have to be talking about today.
That's right. Thank you so much for all this information. Honestly, I found you guys through Brown's Crew. So shout out to Brown's Crew for introducing me to you guys just by sharing a post. So I'm glad you're able to come with us and talk to our youth about this opportunity. Lastly, how can we contact you? Like, is it the same name for your social media accounts?
Yep. Everything is True Skool 414, TRUESKOOL 414. And that's, you know, the Instagrams, the TikToks, the Twitters, the YouTube. all of that. You can find us on all of those mediums and learn more about the program, get connected with some of the young people that are involved. A lot of our alumni are doing great things in the city and sort of trailblazing, really. And we're super proud of a lot of success stories that we've had over the years. Some of our recent alumni are going on to college, doing great things. So I mean, we have a lot of great success stories and a lot of young people that will share their testimony about how True Skool has impacted them or how it's helped them as young adults. And so we like to also connect curious, interested seekers with some of our alumni so they can hear it from their peers and they can understand what the experience will be like for them from their peers.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions that I have for you today. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us before we end our guest section?
Well, this Friday, there's always more. This Friday, we are doing a meet and greet. We have a True Knowledge meet and greet that we do virtually now, where we introduce authors from Milwaukee, most young authors, most Black and brown authors who have something really important to share from an educational perspective with our youth, and who may even come from an artistic background. This Friday at 6 p.m., there will be a virtual conversation with a DJ by the name of Martinez White. He's from Milwaukee, lives in Madison. He's a DJ by profession, but also he works in the banking world, in the finance world. And so he wrote a book about how to think like a DJ in order to learn financial literacy and set yourself up for success with money. All right. So financial literacy is something that we also try to introduce a lot of our students to, because you could be artistic and creative and it could start generating a lot of money. And if you don't have a awareness of what to do business wise, you could get taken advantage of, especially as a young artist or young creative. And so, and sometimes as a woman creative, or sometimes as a person of color creative, or however you want to look at it, in whatever box you may see yourself in, we try to empower those boxes. We try to empower young people to say, okay, you know, if this is my box, then I'm going to own this box and nobody's going to be able to come and take advantage of me. And so Friday, 6 p.m., we'll have a True Knowledge virtual session. That information is also on our Facebook page. There's a Facebook event. So you can follow the Facebook and follow our website, Instagram, all that fun stuff. We always have events. We're always doing virtual activations at this point to keep people engaged, to keep our youngsters engaged, keep our community partners engaged. That's part of it. You know, like after the whole this whole situation hit, a lot of organizations and a lot of our partners, they look to True Skool to figure out what do we do to continue. They look to True Skool to figure out how do we go around this curve and still get work done, because we're artists and we're in hip hop culture and we color outside of the lines and we don't ask for permission.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I loved asking you questions, all these answers, all this information. Thank you. And you got the whole youth group from SOC engaged at least. So thank you so much for this information.
Yo, SOC, I appreciate you all. And, you know, a lot of you creative leaders out there, a lot of you innovative thinkers, you know, if you don't sign up for True Skool this time or this round, just keep us on your radar, stay in touch with us. And, you know, you can reach out to me personally, you can reach out to True Skool collectively. And we want to support all your youth leaders and honestly figure out how we can work together as SOC and True Skool. How can we do some real, I was going to say damage, but not damage in a good way. How can we do some good damage together?
For sure. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a good day. Thanks, Fidel.
Peace.
Well, there you have it. That was Fidel. Thank you so much to Fidel. And thank you guys for commenting and saying hello. I really appreciate that. And there is all the information that Fidel provided to us. It is on our comment section. So you just want to scroll up to the top and you'll see all of the links, all of the programs, all of the events coming up for True Skool. Don't forget to follow them on their platforms, which is True Skool 414, and school is with a K. So next up, we're gonna move on to our coronavirus update, which is an update on boosting your immune system during COVID-19.
By now, you have undoubtedly heard the calls from health officials to exercise proper hygiene in the face of the global threat of COVID-19. Washing your hands, not touching your face, coughing in your elbow, or using tissues for those sneezes and coughs will go a long way in helping to prevent you from contracting the new virus or far more common flu viruses. Prevention may be the first strategy, but if you come in contact with a virus, your body does its work as well. The immune system in the body is a natural defense that would kick into gear. Think of it as your army, ready to fight off diseases that do enter your system, which is why now is the best time to strengthen your immune system.
It is important to consume certain foods to boost our immune system, specifically to improve our white blood cells levels, since these tend to help us prevent infections.
Nutritionist Dora Sutherland says some of the essential nutrients for a healthy immune system are vitamins A, C, D, zinc, and probiotics.
You want to start off with always having foods that contain vitamin D. Okay, vitamin D tends to alert the body when it's in contact with a certain type of infection. Okay, you find vitamin D foods in, for example, fish. You find it in eggs. You find it in milk and sardines, or you could also find it in fortified cereals that have vitamin D. Okay, what is also important is foods that have vitamin A and vitamin C. Okay, these two work similar since they help to fight the infection when we already have it. Now, it is very important that we do consume vitamin C from foods because our body does not make it and our body does not store it. Okay, which is why that many people that do have recurrent flus, they're lacking in vitamin C foods. Okay, and both of them you find it in bright red colored fruits and vegetables, specifically tomatoes, oranges. You can also find it in tangerine, limes, squash, okay, red and yellow bell peppers, okay, beans, okay, and most importantly green vegetables, okay, and then the main one with the highest source of vitamin C would be broccoli. Okay, zinc is also important because zinc helps to improve the function of our immune cells. You find zinc in a very limited amount of foods. However, you can find it mostly in mushrooms, you can find it in spinach, you can find it in tomatoes, and also in some types of lean red meat.
As for probiotics, it's not just good for your digestion, but also good for your immune system. Yogurt is one of the best sources for probiotics. The latest studies examining the COVID-19 outbreak show that 80% of the cases are mild, and those most vulnerable to severe illness are the elderly and the sick. The highest fatality rate is in people over 80. Similarly, the elderly are more susceptible to severe complications of regular flu and cold. That's because as we age, our immune systems can weaken.
Normally, we do see the elderly with more tendency of having a flu or a cold, okay, because their immune system is a little bit low. Okay, they also have a low intake of fluids. Okay, dehydration can also be a cause of having recurrent flus or recurrent cold. Okay, so they do have to start consuming these foods that have all these nutrients that we mentioned: the vitamin A, vitamin C, D, and zinc. Okay, because the older we get, then the lower our levels become, because we start to consume these food less, and then the way our body processes it is a lot less than when we were younger.
As for the use of supplements, Sutherland says it's best to get nutrients from food, but some can benefit from supplements.
You don't want to always recur to supplements for the treatment of just a cold. It's better to get it from natural foods. Okay, however, if you're a person that has been hospitalized for pneumonia several times, or you have a cold more than 3 or 4 times a year, then you could probably use the supplements. Okay, but it is always better to get it from the foods that you eat.
To date, Belize has no confirmed cases of COVID-19. Either way, start with your best defense, a healthy immune system. It will help you ward off the new virus and existing viruses like the flu that attempt to attack your body.
Thank you, Marlene, for choosing that video. I think it's really important to talk about things that we can do for our own health just by eating well. So I think it was really informative. So thank you so much for that video. And especially during these times, not only the coronavirus, but the flu season is coming up. So it's very important to take care of yourself, take care of your physical health for sure. And then another thing is, we do have a comment from Fidel. He said he forgot to mention, we do also have some Spanish-speaking instructors too. So for True Skool, there are Spanish-speaking instructors. Just to throw that out there before we forget, and to let everyone know, all of our audience, both in English and Spanish, they do have that option for you as well. Thank you so much, Fidel, again, for coming on the show and talking about True Skool. So next up, we have our civic update.
Okay, so I know that if I'm 18 by the next election, I can vote.
If you look at the voter turnout, it's usually older people who are voting the most.
And people want to tell us all the time, like, you know, you don't have that much experience.
But it's our future that matters, and it's our interests that need to be protected.
Our time, it's our right to make a change, and that's why we have the ability to vote.
In courses at school, it's not something that your teachers really teach you.
You have to register beforehand, so what that date is. There's a lot of things that, like, I need to know.
First, I have to know it, and then I have to spread that out to kids like me who do think that voting is important and they want to take action.
If you kind of see this chain reaction of other people voting around you, then of course you're going to be like, oh, I don't want to be the one guy that doesn't do it.
And there's this feeling of like you were a part of something.
My vote gives me power over what I want to see happen or what I support and advocate for.
It's like a springboard for all the new changes that we can make.
You shouldn't be afraid, and I think that you should know that your opinions matter. You should know that you can pre-register when you're 17 so that you can vote as soon as you turn 18.
We're not doing this for only ourselves, we're doing this for everybody.
I'm 18 by 18.
I'm 18 by 19.
I'm 18 by 20.
We're 18 by 25. I am 18 by 21.
Thank you, Gabe, for choosing that video for us. And next up, we have our census video.
Every student is full of possibilities, just like every community, which is why the 2020 census wants to make sure we are all counted. Because an accurate census count can help inform funding for things like after-school programs and education for the next 10 years. Let's stand together. Let's make it possible.
Shape your future. Start here. Learn more at 2020census.gov.
So you can find more information on both civic, on voting for November, to request your absentee ballot, on our comments. We have the links there. And then also for the census, make sure you're filling out your census and making yourself count. If you guys don't mind commenting just to see who's all here watching with us, that would be great. If not, we'll just move to our next section, which is our SOC promos with Marisol.
Has this live forum been informative and useful to you? What part of the forum could be improved or changed to make it better? Please take a quick survey that's located in the comments section so that we can keep 3 o'clock with SOC going for residents. Thank you for tuning in.
Okay, so again, for our survey, it's up in the comments. We might just put it in there again, but it is on our comment section. Make sure you're filling out that survey just so that we know what you guys think of the forum so far, what you'd like to see. This forum is definitely for you guys, so please let us know what's on your mind and what we can do to make it better. So then just a couple of reminders before we go is that Wednesday is our Spanish day. So we'll have Cristina and Shanika from the Aging Commission. And then Thursday for our COVID-19 day, we will have Claire Evers, who is the Deputy Commissioner of Environmental Health at the Milwaukee Public Health Department. She'll be giving us a COVID-19 update. And then Friday is our organizing and leadership day. So make sure you're staying in tune and watching our 3 o'clock with SOC live, and just watching these amazing guests that we have booked for you guys. Thank you guys for joining us today and for watching and for commenting and asking questions. That's really appreciated. And then now I'll leave you with founder and partner. Thank you.
Hello, SOC viewers. My name is Micaela. I am a youth organizer. We would like to thank everyone for supporting our 3 o'clock with SOC live show for completing our surveys, in addition to thanking our residents for tuning in and sharing our show. We would also like to thank the following sponsors: Wisconsin Voices, Community Development Block Grants, Neo-Philanthropy State Infrastructures Funds, Movement Voters Project, Catholic Campaign for Human Development, Zibber Foundation, City of Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, Tides Foundation, City of Milwaukee's Promise Zones, all the faithful individuals who supported SOC through their personal donations. Thank you.